Bermuda's first slaves or anything like that. You're going to get something like this. It says in the 17th century, right? 1660, first non-Anglos arrived. In 1616, the first so-called black man and a Carib Indian, all right? Carib Indian and a so-called black man were brought to Bermuda on the ship Edwin to dive for pearls. To dive for pearls. We're going to see today, we're going to read from...
Pay attention. Pay attention. Remember, that's what they said. That's what they tell us in history, right? That the first slaves arrived there, brought by the Pilgrims in 1619, right? One Carib Indian from Venezuela and another so-called black African, right? They don't really specify African, but they make it sound like that's what it was. Okay, that's the first slaves, right? To dive for pearls. Pay attention. To dive for pearls. Okay.
Book of the history of the pearl, right? A very scholarly book. Spanish destruction of the Pearl Coast in the early 16th century. Alright, this is from Cal Perry, assistant professor of history in Texas A&M University. Alright, it says in the early 16th century, the area that today comprises eastern Venezuela and its offshore islands enriched Spain with pearls and supplied Spanish colonists with Indian slaves. Indian, not Africans, and most of them sailing from Hispaniola or Haiti, 900 miles distant. Owing to the ill treatment of the Indians and excessive cruelties towards them, years later when the Spaniards had exterminated nearly all the natives of Hispaniola, they stole away the Lucayans to the number of 40,000 to slave in the mines and on the plantations of Hispaniola. So where does it say these were Africans?
You get it? You get it, bro? You get it? I hope so. Yeah, I really hope so, bro. Like, fucking hope so. Now let me show you. Now let me fucking show you what they were doing, bro. Let me show you how they were robbed in the campus. Let me show you that all of the fucking, that the whole South America and North America was fucking rich. Costa Rica is not named the rich coast for nothing, bro. Okay? The whole South America was rich. Listen, they came, they conquered, they destroyed, they robbed your temples and they stole your pearls. Listen, pay attention. Don't let me lose you guys. Fucking pay attention.
Show you, about this book. Go ahead and Google it. America being the latest and most accurate description of the New World. You'll see the images, or just put John Ogilvy drawings on Google. You'll see a lot of the different images for yourself. So I'm on page 216 of this book, chapter 3, it says here, to the kingdom of Kusa Chiki, they reflected 15 days and then marched through countries of Guastali or Guali or Guajali or Acostis and Kusa, were above 8,000 Indians, adorned with plumes of feathers and rich fur cloaks. Alright? Plumes and feathers and rich fur cloaks, you were furred out, came to meet and welcome them, and to desire them from the cacique to stay with all the winter. But Sotos, resolving to go to the haven, Chusi, refused the same. Crossing the river, he found a brave country, where were pearls as big as gray peas, copper or golden color, but no gold. They were pearls so big, so many pearls here, right? Out of the tombs of their princes, the Spanish officers, with the leaf of the forementioned maid, their governess, got an incredible treasure in pearls. They were just taking the tombs, right? Robbing the tombs. These cryptos, Spaniard Jews and Muslims, Spaniards, these Morisco, Marano people. These were the original Spaniards that came, Margarita, South America. Now we're in a different part of America, and there's another place in America, so-called Florida, right? Somewhere in the southeast U.S., where pearls are very abundant, though they could not form any judgment as to their value. The princess told them they might take as many as they pleased out of a large temple. Now, hey, you want pearls? We have so much of that. Just take whatever you want. We have a whole temple full of pearls, which seemed also to be the cemetery of her ancestors, and which was lavishly adorned with them. Alrighty. This and another temple were found in reality to contain pearls sufficient to have loaded the whole army. There were so many pearls they could have made everybody in the army, like remember there was like 600 of them, right? They couldn't carry the weight. We just read that. They couldn't even carry the weight. They left it. So an abundance which of itself afforded a pretty strong presumption that they were of a small value. The other temple was that of Tolomeco, alright? Tolomeco, the most spacious edifice in Florida. The biggest and most spacious edifice in Florida. It was 100 paces long by 40 broad, the roof formed by 6 mats placed over each other and brilliantly adorned with shells and pearls. The gate was ornamented with 12 statues of giants in full armor, and all around the interior of the walls were ranged statues of men and women of ordinary size. There were statues. The intendants of the Spanish monarchs were proceeding to levy his fee upon the pearls and other precious articles found in the temple, a measure which was stopped by Soto on the pretense that they could not encumber themselves with just a burden, but doubtless from a well-grounded fear of provoking the hostility of the natives. You see, he's like, yo, we can't really carry that stuff, guys. But he really was just scared. He's like, you know what? I don't think they're going to like me take all their pearls. All right, so real quick. So it's a description of the temple of Tolomeco. All right?
I hope you're paying attention. Don't lose me, guys. You heard that shit, right? You following me, right? Okay.
Upon the roof of this temple are many shells of different sizes, of diverse fishes ranged in very good order on them.
No, he's describing the temple of Tolomeco. You heard him talking about the temple of Tolomeco just now, right? They were in a different temple. This was a different temple in Florida, right? And they spoke about that temple being somewhat resembling this temple of Tolomeco. Now this is the temple of Tolomeco that they're at. You understand?
The temple had doors proportioned to its grandeur. There were seen at the entrance 12 statues of giants. Alright, that's the image we just saw. They are represented with an aspect of so ferocious and menacing that the Spanish stopped a long time to consider these figures, worthy of admiration of ancient Rome. 12 tribes. They say that these giants were placed there to defend the entrance of the door, for they are in a row on each side and gradually diminish.
Remember that, guys. Remember what he said just now. We're going to get into that. I'm going to show you who you are. I'm going to show you who the fuck all of the West Indians are. Okay? Follow me.
Size. The first are 8 feet high, and the others proportionally a little less, in the order of the tubes of an organ. The height of the walls of the temple within is adorned conformable to the exterior of the roof, for there is a kind of cornice made of the great spiral seashell placed in very good order. And between these are seen festoons of pearls which hang from the roof. In the intervals of the shells and pearls there is seen in the arches of a quantity of plumes of diverse colors, feathers. Besides, the quantity of pearls was such that the Spaniards avowed that even if there had been more than 900 men and 300 horses, they altogether could not have carried off at one time all the pearls of this temple. And hence we can judge by comparison that if all the gold and silver which they had brought from Peru to Spain had not been transported elsewhere, the Spaniards would now be able to cover with gold and silver many churches. Afterwards they asked the Indians what had led them to amass so much wealth, and they replied that all the chiefs of the country, and principally those of their province, made their grandeur to consist in the magnificence of their temples.
Alright. You're hearing this shit, right? Are you hearing this right, guys? You hearing this right? Okay. Now, let me just show you a quick video, you know what I mean, of the real,
over to the left, we have a
Indians.
Anishinaabe, an Ojibwe nation, Native American from 1880. Over to the right, we have a Comanche warrior. Alright. Here, over to the right, we have Absaluka group, Native Americans. And over to the left, we have Blue Horse of a Lakota leader, Native American. Again, Blue Horse, Lakota. Okay, here over to the right, we have a Blackfoot chief. In the middle, we have Atabaliba, Inca, Native American. And over to the left, we have Amonse, Little B, a Chippewa chief. Alright, as you can see. Over here, over to the right, we have Bad Buffalo and Bad Gun. Over to the left, we have Baby Jack, a Cree Indian. It says Howard King photograph. I'm going to read from to the right, we have bobtail horse, a Cheyenne Native American. Over to the middle, we have Blackfoot Indian male. He's called High Eagle.